Oh boy, guys, the markets are not looking good, and we got to break them down in this video. I want to talk about individual stocks, charts I'm looking at. We got to break down some pre-market action. What the heck is going on right now? So before we do, make sure to take a sip of your coffee. That's number one. Yes, I do have a Starbucks this morning, guys. And number two, make sure to get your free money for Moomoo. You get up to 5 free shares, each of which could be valued up to $3,500. Just use that link down below. Deposit at least $100 and you get your free money. And with that being said, let's dive into the video. And by the way, these morning videos I typically make on Patreon, but I figured today markets are dumping. I have some things to say. I'm going to upload this onto YouTube as well, which is why you're watching this on YouTube. So let's talk about what's going on. It's currently about 9 a.m. on the East Coast. We have about 30 minutes left until the opening bell. And as of now, the futures are down bad, big time. I mean, we have the Dow futures down, let's see here, about 0.6. That's not bad, but the NASDAQ futures are down 1.5%. The Russell's down 0.7%, and we have the S&P down about 0.9%. The VIX is up close to 10%, and we have gold up 0.1%, and surprisingly, silver's down about 0.6%. So we're selling off all across the board. The VIX is now back over 20, which you guys know when the VIX is over 20, that's not good. And now we're actually at 23. So we're almost in the mid-20s on the VIX, guys. And we were momentarily in the teens, which you guys clearly can see here. Every time we've gotten into the teens, 14, 15 to 18, that is a kind of a normal calm period or a calm spot for the VIX. And it's kind of like the beast has awakened again when it gets over 20. Now we're at 23. If this thing gets closer to 30, it's going to be mayhem out there. So VIX is moving up this morning. SPY, Triple Q are going down like no other. And if you guys were watching my video on YouTube yesterday, my night video, we talked about how I started to notice a lower high. You guys can see we hit 457 yesterday. The previous high was 456. So I started to notice this. I'm not saying we're collapsing or anything like that or we're crashing through the floor yet, but I started to notice this descending pattern starting to occur. And with today's big red pre-market, we're moving down big time right now, guys. We are now under the lows from last week, which if you guys watched my video yesterday, I mentioned if this breaks, and by this I mean SPY, if it breaks 450, 449, that would be the continuation of the downtrend, the lower low. We already had the lower high, right? We already put in a lower high, but we needed to put in a lower low. And now this morning, pre-market, we've officially done that. We took the lows out. Downtrend is looking like it's intact, or it's beginning, or continuing, whatever you want to say, guys. And same thing with Triple Q. Look at this. We put in a lower high yesterday at 369. The previous was 372. We also had a low point. The low point from last week was right around 358.50, and now we're trading at 355. We clearly took the lows out. That means the downtrend is accelerating here, guys. So what am I going to be looking at? The key spot I'm going to be looking at now is right around the 50, or not the 50, the 180 moving average on the 4-hour chart for both SPY and Triple Q. Because even though we're selling off, we're down a decent chunk the past couple of days, we're still above that main moving average, which for Triple Q, it's right around 346, 347, which I think we could be going down there, guys. Maybe 350 flat is where we go, and then we get a bounce. And for SPY, let's pull it up. SPY's 180 moving average is right around 438 to 440. So if we, and mind you, SPY's at 447, so it's very close to that. So if we get, let's say, more selling throughout the day, because who knows? Right now it's pre-market. Today could very well be one of those days where we're selling off aggressively pre-market just to then see a bit of a relief rally throughout the day. That could be what we're setting up for. But if that doesn't happen, let's say we bleed even more today, we might get to a point where we're in dire need of a relief rally. We're going to be very oversold. I mean, heck, we're oversold now, which is why I'm saying this could be setting up for a bounce during the day. But if we get even more oversold, I might consider diving into TQQQ as a short-term play, which is a Bull 3X ETF that tracks Triple Q, right? And you guys can see this is now down to $54.80 in the pre-market, and it was just at $63. So now TQQQ, the Bull ETF, it is down about 15%. So if I think we're going to get some sort of rally like we did literally 2 days ago, look at this. Last week, TQQQ went from 63 to 56. It got oversold. It lost 11%. And then it saw a rally from 56 to about 62. It rallied 10%. Now it's oversold again. We just took the lows out. Are we going to be able to rally again? Maybe another 5-10% in a relief rally. That's kind of what I'm looking to maybe trade today or tomorrow, whenever we potentially get this relief rally. And of course, I'm going to put all my alerts on Patreon. If you're watching on Patreon, you know I post all my alerts. If you're watching on YouTube, feel free to join my Patreon if you guys want to. It's linked down below. No pressure. So, yeah. That's kind of what I'm thinking with the overall markets right now and kind of some thoughts on these leveraged ETFs, kind of what I'm looking to do. And of course, we're watching the bear ETF as well, which is SQQQ. I've been trading these a lot the past couple of weeks, made some money on them, been doing well. And now let's see if we can continue that streak. So watch out for that pair, T and SQQQ. And look at Ford, guys. Did I not mention I want to start buying Ford? Jeez, guys, excuse me. Let me get some coffee. I got an ice chip in my mouth now. Did I not mention, right? Let me swallow this ice. I just spit it out. I don't know why I just did that on camera, guys. Bear with me, though. Bear with me. I mentioned how I wanted to buy Ford at about, or initiate a position at about 14.50, something like that. And I would be buying heavy if it went down at $10, $11, $12. And now look at Ford. It is hovering in the mid-15s. It's at 15.54. And it looks like this descending triangle might play out. Look at this. We're clearly making lower highs over the past couple of months since the beginning of, or middle rather, of January. We've been doing that. And now we're about to test, well, we are testing 1550, which you guys can see that's been support since the end of February. So if we take out this support level, and mind you, we're already under the moving averages, and we have a death cross, which is not good for the bulls. If we see that descending triangle play out, we tank under 1550. I mean, Ford could be getting to my target faster than I think. And it might be going down faster than we all think. Who knows? You know, if we break 1550, the next gap that I'm seeing here, a major level of support is 1375. And under that, we have, just like that, $12. It could be at $12 if the markets get ugly again in a short amount of time. And I will be here to pick up the shares, guys. Initiate a position at probably 14, maybe 14.50, a very small position. Then if it got even more beaten down than that, I'd be buying at $12, $13, $11. So Ford's one that I don't want to have a huge position in, long-term position, but I do want to have a decent amount. Not even a decent amount to the point where it's like a 5 or 10% position. That's big. But I want to have some shares. Let's just put it that way, because I do think Ford's a great company, and they're down a lot. The stock's down. I mean, like I said yesterday on YouTube, guys, stocks go down. That's when you want to buy. That's when you build yourself wealth. You know, what's that saying in real estate? And I'm not even into real estate like that, guys. But there's a saying like that you make the money on the purchase or something like that. That goes with all investments, I feel like, right? You make your money when you buy the house at a cheap price, or when you buy the stock, right? And granted, if the stock goes to zero, you lose your money. But if the house goes to zero, you lose your money. But you know what I mean. If the asset performs well, you want to buy it at a cheap price. So Ford is looking like it wants to tank. I want it to tank, so bring it on. Another one that I'm looking at is KDP right now, which is Keurig Dr. Pepper. Look at this. This one's a bit oversold. Volume's kicking up. Notice that. We're getting oversold. Volume's kicking up. They just paid their dividend, and you guys know if you're a dividend investor or maybe you're not, it doesn't really matter. But you should know that when a company pays a dividend, it typically falls that amount the amount of the dividend the day they pay the dividend. So they got rid of the dividend, or they pay the dividend. We got the drop. I think that was yesterday or the day before. Either way, they pay their dividend. And now we're oversold, and we're testing the bottom of this wedge. Look, we're testing right around 36.80, $37, which if it holds, that will be a higher low. The uptrend will be continuing, and we may be able to bounce towards the top of the wedge. That's kind of what I'm looking at. You guys notice all these little circles I drew out? All these points I drew out, that is where we've held the uptrend. We're at another point right now, 37. So 37, it's imperative for that point to hold. If it does, we may be able to shoot up towards the top of the wedge, 38.50. If that breaks, boom, $40. That could be right around the corner. And look at Nvidia this morning, guys, before we wrap this video up. And by the way, the Fed minutes is today. I forgot to mention that. Geez, I should have mentioned that earlier today. That could be why the markets are selling off. They're a bit nervous. We saw what Brainard said yesterday about the aggressive rate hikes, the rapid decrease of the balance sheet. Or is that what she said? Or I'm mixing things up. Anyway, she was very hawkish, right? And now it kind of spooked the markets, and now the markets are even more spooked, or they're kind of awaiting the Fed minutes. So remember that. That's later today, I think at 2 p.m. So we're going to be watching that, and maybe I'll cover that in my video, probably my night video on YouTube. So make sure you guys subscribe here if you haven't done so already, if you're watching on YouTube. So Nvidia, let's talk about this one. Look at this, guys. This thing is down $10 pre-market. It's getting destroyed. Actually, maybe more than that. Actually, no, it's about $10. Yeah, down about $10. It's down about 4 or 5% here in the pre-market. And now it's down a total of about 15% since the recent high that we hit at 293. That was just about a week ago. Crazy. This stock in 1 week is down 15%. And now we're clearly under the 50 moving average. We had a head and shoulders play out. If you guys take a look here, we had this head and shoulders play out on Nvidia. So we're right by the 180 moving average now. Are we going to get some sort of relief rally? Maybe we will if the markets do get a relief rally in general. You bet your you-know-what. In that case, Nvidia is probably going to bounce as well. So I'm going to be watching it at 245, 250, right by that moving average. If we get a pop, this could end up going back to 270 very quickly, 275, and we'll reassess it at that point in time. So that's some thoughts on the markets, kind of what to watch out for. Again, the Fed minutes, watch out for that. That's coming out later today. Watch out for the stocks I mentioned. Ford, it's getting close, guys. Ford's getting close. KDP I'm liking. Nvidia's interesting. And, of course, you got to watch those leveraged ETFs for the overall markets, which the markets right now are bloody. And before we wrap this video, I just remembered, let's see what oil's doing. It's got to be going up, right? Yeah, oil's up 0.6%, still trading in the wedge on the 4-hour chart, so watch out for that when it comes to oil. And with that being said, guys, I guess we'll wrap this video up. Make sure to hit the like button if you're on YouTube, subscribe, and drop me a comment, and also join my Patreon if you're on YouTube watching this. If you want morning videos every single day of me recapping stocks, the markets, breaking news, what I'm doing, that's on Patreon. You get all my real-time buys, sells, call-outs, all that good stuff. Link down below, and get your 5 stocks, up to 5 stocks, each of which could be valued up to $3,500. Just use my Moomoo link, deposit at least $100, and you get that free money that's linked down below. And with that being said, I'll catch you guys in the next video. Good luck today. Peace out.